Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Hassan Akram, and today I'm back with another podcast with another amazing guest we have. Her name is Tabassum Chughtai Murtaza. She is in the education industry for the past 30 years. It's a lot of time. And she has been working in with different schools, colleges. So, Tabassum, thank you so much for taking out some time for this podcast. I want you to actually give more details about your introduction to my audience. So the floor is all yours now.
Okay. Thank you so much, first of all, Hassan, for having me. Um, I am Tabassum Murtaza, and I have spent like you just said, my past 30 years in transforming education. I started off my career as a class 3 class teacher. So after a year or so, I became the best teacher. I got the best teacher award, and when I got it a couple of times, I was promoted to be a senior mistress and then the headmistress. And after that, I took, when I became the headmistress, that was the time when, I did started getting the hang of the leadership thing and all that, and what are the things that are required of a leader. After that, I took a break because I had two daughters, one after another. And then later on, I joined the head office. I'll just mention that while I was on my break, I would keep getting a call from the regional office. Tabassum, एक school खुल गया है, we want a head for that. Would you like to join? And I would say, just give me a little more time because my daughters are of this age and I just want them to start going to school. And then again, after some time, I would get another call from the regional office. There was some एक और branch खुल गई है. Do you want to be there? We want you to be the head, and so on. Then before I was about, the time when I was about to admit my daughters in schools, in their school, I got a call from the head office that we want you to join the English curriculum group at the head office education department. And then I said, okay. So I just made it a point that I got my daughters admitted in school, both of them, and I just joined the head office as the regional coordinator. Now that was a very turning point for me because when you're a school head, you're more focused on the administrative task and majorly on training the teachers and all that, but like conducting a one-off workshop, just observing teachers, that was like a lot of you get the insight of what is happening in each teacher's class. And if with your expertise, when you can guide them, they can bring about changes in those students, and then all those students benefit. So I saw the purpose of, what is the role of the leadership, because when you become a leader, you then are in a position to mold plenty of teachers, and in that way. When I joined the head office, it was a very learning opportunity for me because there I studied curricula of British National Curriculum, Common Core Curriculum. Then I also studied Scottish curriculum, and New Zealand curriculum, and so on. And then, we would adapt whatever we learn from that according to our own needs. So that was like a lot of learning. Not only that, while I was at school, I did ELT from Kinnaird College and got a position holder also. And at the same time, while I was at school, heading the campus as the HM, Beacon House offered a course in certificate in professional studies, which was from Bradford University, and the teachers came here to teach us. So that was really learning alongside my profession. When I joined the head office, so I had to design the curriculum and the workbooks. At that point in time, I did plan all the courses that were offered by Beacon House, like diploma in teaching with ICT from Cambridge, then PG Cert from Exeter University, and then I did this advanced diploma from Bradford University. They also sent us to Reading University, a group of 22 people. We were sent to Reading University. We studied from there. They had arranged for for us to go to 10 schools. So there was a lot of learning. So I was designing curriculum, but at the same time, I was going to different schools to see the implementation, supporting the teachers, conducting training sessions according to the requirement. So that was a great opportunity, I would say, gave from 2002 to 2020. Before that, before like in 2014, I became accredited program leader for Cambridge to teach professional development qualifications in educational leadership. So before that, before I got that accreditation, I also studied from Beacon House National University, Masters in Education Leadership and Management, and I am a gold medalist also. So I did the
Wow.
course in leadership from BNU. Then I also was the accredited program leader for educational leadership from Cambridge. Then I also did another leadership course from Harvard University. So that was like, while I was in my profession, I constantly kept learning. My focus was to know more and more about that. And because when you are at the head office, all the new initiatives that Beacon House took, like we started off with blended learning approach and launched Beacon House Newlands. So I made the curricula for that. I designed the curricula for that, and then I trained them, the teachers also. And then came the Reggio Emilia philosophy. So TNS was there. So I did made some modules for them too. And then at the same time, the latest was the micro schooling concept. So Beacon House has Leo's workshop. So I designed modules for that too. So I had the chance to learn to conduct training sessions. I was constantly working with the training department also. So I was designing courses, I was conducting courses, and some small workshops as well. And then I was given an opportunity. I got a call from Mrs. Kasuri's PA, and when I went there, Mrs. Kasuri told me about this new project of Beacon House, which is United Charter Schools for the middle tier parent and student body. And she asked me if I would want to join as the head of education and look after the academics and training and make the complete infrastructure and all that. So I was like overwhelmed and overjoyed and said, I'm really humbled for this. So I would say I'm really very passionate about curriculum design, and then teacher training, and then setting or creating net systems for school networks. Because United Charter Schools was initially we had 5 campuses, which were company-owned campuses, and then we went into franchising, and that was another utterly new experience for me. So yes, I would say that it was a long journey, plenty of things that came during that time. But it's great learning.
Nice. Since you talked about designing curriculum and that is your expertise too, I want to understand, and this has been a question in my head for a long time. With new technology coming in, with new skills coming in, I think if I talk about universities, especially, they are still using the old curriculum. Like, for example, if there has been a bubble of AI, I'm not seeing any university in Pakistan offering a separate degree about AI. Same goes for net freelancing and all that. So, what you do? What do you think about this? And when you design a curriculum, do you take into account the current circumstances and the new things happening while designing a curriculum, or how does that sound?
Are you talking about now? Now, if I design the curriculum.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean with the current
Okay.
happening,
Well,
tech coming in and all that. Yeah.
okay. I'll just give you a brief intro. When I joined the Beacon House curriculum group, at that time we did have separate ICT integrated activities, but they were very few. The problem was that with teachers. we are digital immigrants. Students are natives, so like they would know like this. They get the hang of it like this, but we have to work really hard. So it I saw that there was a lot of difficulty that the teachers were facing when they had to conduct an ICT integrated lesson. There were separate IT labs where they had to take the students and then do the that particular activity, make a timeline, or make a presentation on PowerPoint or something like that. Now, the teachers have to be qualified. This is very important for a country like ours. They need to have a hang of this IT. मैं छोटी सी example दूँ, like when I joined the head office and I said कि नहीं नहीं मैं I would also want to teach this curriculum, how the curriculum, whatever curriculum we are designing, I would want to test it and I would like to teach it and see how
Right.
practical it is. Because yes,
Right.
it is easy to say, okay, this is the activity. After this, would you conduct the Odyssey and conduct this activity? But then, how practical is it? So I chose to go back to the same campus where I was heading, and because there were 8 sections there, so I had this was how I got the feedback from the teachers while sitting in the coordination meetings, and then I had this opportunity to go to schools and observe the teachers also. So everywhere I found that the teachers were struggling with ICT. Now is an AI era. AI era mein there are, we have to be very careful in at what age should we introduce it to the students, how much uh, can it be introduced, and then again what age range, and then the ethics, and then we have absolutely no clue how much because AI is already collating data. AI
Mm.
is so far been as educationists we need to understand that AI is has all the data from the West, and then it is male based mostly. Now, how much
What
of
makes
it can
what makes you say that it's male based only?
this is from research. This is from
Okay. Okay.
research that it is,
This is
yeah,
new.
the
This is
data
new.
is, yes, that is from, I keep studying because I am a researcher myself and I am a published author also. So I keep getting these researches and all that. So I'm constantly
Nice.
into this research because AI is in now, and we as educationists need to be very equipped with what the AI harms that AI can potentially
Correct.
have on students, because we don't know where this data is all getting collated, the student
Yeah.
data, and who is collating it, and how can it be used. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि it would harm the students. सो एआई को हम ऐसे नहीं कर सकते कि जी अब एआई आ गया तो हम एकदम से एआई को अपनी क्लासेस में पढ़ाना भी शुरू कर दें, बिकॉज आप अगर बच्चों को लाइक
Right.
इफ यू जस्ट आस्क देम कि ओके डू द असाइनमेंट, तो फिर तो कॉग्निशन तो खत्म हो जाएगी आहिस्ता आहिस्ता, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी इजी, यू पुट अ क्वेश्चन एंड टू जेमिनाई और चैट जीपीटी और क्लॉड or whatever, and you get the answer. But then it would become really difficult for the teachers to understand, did the student do it himself or herself, or did the AI do it. अब पता तो चल जाता है because you as teachers you understand the level of the students, but then the human element can't be ignored. सो एआई को अगर हमने यूज करना है तो वी हैव टू बी रियली रियली वेरी केयरफुल एंड डिसाइड व्हाट एज और किस लिमिट तक हमने इसको यूज कराना है, सो दैट द स्टूडेंट्स आर इक्विप्ड टू यूज इट ऑल्सो, बट यूज इट कंस्ट्रक्टिवली.
Right.
और एक और जो मजे की बात, अभी मैंने स्कूल ऑफ टुमारो कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड की थी बीकन हाउस की,
Right.
नवंबर में हुई है, अभी दिसंबर के शुरू में हुई है. एंड आई फाउंड आउट एंड देयर लाइक आई फाउंड आउट दैट एआई thrives on water. So the more you use AI,
Yeah.
we
I
would
read that. Yeah.
the world will be like फिर तो drought हो जाएगा, और we are अभी water scarcity तो already हो गई है. तो हमने
Correct.
कहाँ तक उसको यूज करना है, वी हैव टू बी रियली रियली वेरी केयरफुल. और एकदम से जो हम एक्साइटेड होके कर लेते हैं ना कि हमने स्कूल में स्टीम भी लगा दिया, स्टेम भी लगा दिया, रोबोटिक्स भी पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया, एंड देन अगेन एआई की क्लासेस भी हो रही है. नहीं, we have to be really really careful and then decide at what age. और किस तरह हमने यूज़ करना है, सो दैट द स्टूडेंट्स लर्न कि वो उनको हार्म भी नहीं पहुंचे, एंड फॉर दैट द एजुकेशनिस्ट नीड टू बी रियली प्रोफेशनली इक्विप्ड. They should actually know
Very nice.
more about it. They should be more knowledgeable in this. Right.
Spot on. I think I like that answer.
Ji.
And good. So, what keeps you excited about education after so many years? Like, you sound very enthusiastic and passionate about this. So, what keeps you motivated regarding the field of education?
I would say that I am constantly in touch with students, teachers, school heads, and then we as the educational team who are designing training programs and all that. It's very important for all the educationists to be in very close proximity or with the students to see what is the impact. So like I was just telling you about when I became the regional coordinator and then manager, and then became the systems coordinator for English. And so I had this chance of going to all the schools of Beacon House. And then, if you see that you go to and observe the teachers, you are in touch with them and you can see what problems they are facing. And then you have to come up with practical solutions to them. So,
Yeah,
unless and until you have to lead with example, you have to actually करके दिखाना होता है, right? So they know whatever they are saying is possible. So like I would say that I introduced oracy. Oracy is talking to learn. So it is important for the if you discuss the topic before introducing the book or before reading the content from the book, if you talk about it and start from students' prior knowledge and see what every student has to say on that, so our students' understanding would be multiplied by the number of students that are there in the class. So the prior knowledge is then has a solid foundation, and then you add to it. So if you ask those very pertinent questions and have a discussion on it, so whatever is in the content, by the time the student reads the content, they would understand. And when they understand, it would improve their reading and writing. So I feel that being in touch with the teachers, being in touch with the school heads, because when you are conducting training sessions for school heads, you come to know about their problems. And when you address all those problems, then you that gap is finished. Instead of you talking about theoretical underpinnings, कि research ये कहती है, research ये कहती है, you have to give them practical solutions to how you're going to solve your problem. So that is what I've been doing with the teachers and with the school heads. And after coming back, we trainers would sit down and see that this is the issue, and this is, and we have to make the teachers and school heads actually do those things so that they understand. So, and because I'm very passionate about bringing about a change in our own country's education system, so I I think being in touch with the school heads, teachers, and students, and seeing the impact on how whatever training we are providing to the teachers and whatever curricula we are designing for the schools, what impact does it have on students?
great.
एक छोटी सी
You
एग्जांपल
know,
मैं दूंगी, like once I went to a graduation ceremony, and there I saw that there were the three students who got admission abroad, and one of them came and delivered a speech, and he was constantly moving from one foot to the other. He lacked confidence. And the other one came and he had a very hilarious sort of speech, and he read it in a monotone. And this similar thing happened with the third one. And I said to them that when our students who are studying oracy and using the whole language approach and all that, when they would come to this stage, they'll be very confident. And that is what I am now seeing, that all those students who have read and that curricula, and the teachers have taught that curricula, now you can see a major difference in those students, the level of confidence in them, the level of communication in them, and how they collaborate. So, yeah, and their cognitive development, yes.
Yeah, that really matters. So you have worked deeply in curriculum development. What makes a curriculum truly effective?
Truly effective. A curriculum is only truly effective. You see, curriculum is majorly based on when you're designing an innovative curriculum, I would say. First of all, what you need to do is you need to see what is the need of the country while designing the
Yeah.
curriculum of a country. You see which professions are required. So you focus on those subjects so that more students study those subjects and more professionals are developed. Then we also want our students to be global citizens. So they need to be, when you are designing the curriculum, they need to be equipped with all those skills and strategies. So and do backward planning कि अभी जो students हैं वो 30-35 में जाके graduate होंगे, so all those skills that they will be requiring in 30-35, they need to be developed now. So you do backward planning and see that all those skills are developed, so by the time they enter their personal and professional lives, they don't face any problem. And the third one is what is the society's need. For example, I introduced financial literacy curriculum last year in United Charter Schools at early years, at all the three levels of early years. And the purpose was, okay, you must have seen that you and I are facing a lot of problem, and most of our adults, when you keep talking to them, you find out that they're having problem in managing money, in saving money. We are mostly in debt. We don't know how to manage our finances. Now, financial literacy is taught. You do research, and one finds out that financial literacy is taught in UK, US, Finland, and even in India. So far, no school is offering financial literacy in Pakistan. So I took that initiative that I introduced financial literacy in at early years, because you see you develop the habits from early years, from young age. What is the difference between need and want? What is generosity? What is saving? What type of, you know about the coins, and then you see, okay, do I need this or can I manage without it? Right? So introducing financial literacy is the main purpose was कि हमारे लोगों को अभी अपने finances मैनेज नहीं करने आते. They
Right.
are mostly struggling. Most of us are struggling with it. But if at the early age you start doing it, तो वो फिर उनकी एक हैबिट बन जाएगी. Like research says that from conception to age 8 a child's personality is made. उसके बाद वो सिर्फ ग्रो होता है.
Hmm.
So a child who is ridiculed would turn out to be a ridiculer. A child who is abused would turn out to be an abuser. A child who is praised would turn out to be the same positive person. And a child who is raised in a way कि उसको लॉजिक के साथ, रीजनिंग के साथ आप चीज़ें सिखाते हो, तो वो फिर उसके बाद दैट वुड बी इनकलकेटेड इन द चाइल्ड. सो सेफ, व्हाट इज नीड, व्हाट इज अ वांट, एंड देन जेनरॉसिटी के कभी किसी को हेल्प की जरूरत पड़े तो मैं थोड़े से पैसे उसको भी दूँ, बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू इनिशियल फुलफिलमेंट. Right?
Right.
So it is very important for us to understand that we need to invest in that in early years, because वहाँ फाउंडेशंस बन रही हैं. द टीचर्स हमारा बड़ा गलत कॉन्सेप्ट है कि अगर किसी को नहीं समझ में, अंग्रेजी नहीं आती या उसको लैंग्वेज इश्यूज हैं या उसको सब्जेक्ट की अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है, उसको अर्ली ईयर्स का टीचर बना दो. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. यू नीड टू हैव द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट टीचर्स एट अर्ली ईयर्स, बिकॉज दोज आर द फाउंडेशन ईयर्स. So that is very important, that we invest in our young children.
Right. What do you think? What leadership skills do teachers mostly struggles with the most?
They're struggling with integrating technology. And then again, professional development. Our problem, countries like ours, they have a problem that we do not have trained teachers. A fresh graduate would turn up, would decide to be a teacher. A mother who's dropping her child would decide that if I start teaching, it would be easy for me to pick and drop, and then I would be earning as well, and I would have benefits as well. And even the teacher development courses that are being offered are still teaching the old methodologies and strategies. Teachers do not understand the importance of group work, the importance of bringing realia in the class,
Right.
the importance of taking students out of the class and asking them maybe what are man-made things. Look, make a list of things that are man-made and that are made by Allah Ta'ala. So God made it man made. Go there and pick a leaf and see what is its texture like. What is this leaf's texture like? What is its shape like? What is it? What the color is dark from up there and lighter from down there. So unless and until they
What
go do,
That's right.
yeah, experiential learning. So unless and until they experience the learning, now teachers need to come out of that box where they have to deliver the content. They have to now understand how important it is to use technology, and that is for purpose. It's not just for the sake of using technology. कि पेज एक
Hmm.
वही तस्वीर बुक में बनी है, वही तस्वीर आप उस पर दिखा रहे हो. No, technology should be used to give breadth and depth to the concept that is being taught. सो अगर तो वो एड ऑन कर रहे हैं फिर यूज करें टेक्नोलॉजी. सो उसके लिए यू नीड टू हैव टू अनलर्न एंड रीलर्न. हमारे यहाँ majority of teachers think that I've been teaching for so long and my students are getting full marks, because sadly cramming is what mostly is focused on. We need to come out of this. We need to accept students' answers. If they have understood and written in their own words, they should be able to accept that. Now, they should, for that, and then they should allow the students to ask questions. So, teachers need to, first of all, develop professionally, do all the courses that are in service. अगर courses साथ साथ करते जाएं, because it's important. If they have decided to be a teacher, then they should try to be good at it, so that she becomes a good teacher, so that she becomes a guru of her subject, right? So they need to understand कि उनका professional development कितनी important, and then they should also research and see what are other countries doing that we are not doing. And then they should also know about the emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is something that is lacking in us adults also. We adults also
Correct.
sometimes can't tell what am I feeling. Is it because there is a very fine difference between depression and sadness,
Right.
frustration. So there are so many types of emotions. Now, emotional intelligence, it's important for the teachers to first of all understand themselves first. When I feel angry or frustrated, how do I behave, and why do I behave the way I behave, and how does it impact the others? Then how can I handle this? How can I fix this? So they need to understand this, and that is the reason it is very important for from the early age that we teach students the emotions. So if a student can identify the emotion, then उसका solution निकल सकता है. But if a child is throwing tantrum and the teacher doesn't know, उसको खुद नहीं emotionally intelligent नहीं है, उसको अपना नहीं पता चला, तो वो बच्चे को भी मुश्किल समझते. But if they are emotionally intelligent, they need to read more on emotional intelligence. They need to read more on child psychology and
And I think
understand
that's a
that at
very
all
good point.
levels.
Yeah, I totally 100% agree with you. But do you see this change happening? Because I think self-reflection is very important. If I'm a teacher and
Yes.
I'm not self-reflecting myself, I'm still relying on old education and old perspective of my personality. I think things are not going to change. So my next question to you would be like, are you doing something specifically to make teachers self-reflect and work on these areas? Otherwise, I think people don't want to come out of their comfort zones, I would say, and
Yes.
they want to be in that bubble where they feel comfortable. So what, as an educationist, are you doing to have this thought in teachers so that they can self-reflect?
You know, questioning is a very important strategy where, whether it is a school head or an observer, where you ask a teacher, like I've been going to observe teachers at all levels, right? When first of all, it is very important to have a structured observation. When I say structured observation, which means pre, while, and post observation. So before the observation, it is very important for you to discuss with the teacher that what am I going to observe you on, because it actually reduces a lot of stress from the teacher's shoulder, because then doesn't have to be all over the place. She should be focusing on one thing. So प्री ऑब्जर्वेशन एजेंडा में अगर आप पहले से डिस्कस कर लेते हैं, द स्कूल हेड और द ऑब्जर्वर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एग्रीज उसके साथ डिसाइड करके, एंड देन यू से ओके, यू मेक योर प्लान, दिस इज योर प्लान, आई विल बी ऑब्जर्विंग यू ऑन दिस, राइट? अब when you
I
go
would want to
during.
say, so if I'm telling someone, I'm going to observe you on this, I won't be able to get raw information out of that person because that person is going to be very cautious now and not be him or herself. So, what do you think about that?
असल में सबसे पहले तो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है दैट देयर शुड बी अ लेवल ऑफ कंफर्ट,
Right,
because if the climate is warm between the observer and observee, and if you have developed a relationship, the rapport is very important.
right,
You can't go with a सरिया in the okay, okay. So वो ना आप सारा कुछ चेंज हो जाता है,
correct, correct.
because if the teacher thinks that you're going to observe her to find mistakes, तो वो ज़्यादा प्रेशर है. मगर अगर आप टीचर को कहते हो कि रिलैक्स, आई एम गोइंग टू ऑब्जर्व यू ऑन दिस एंड
Okay,
you will be conducting the whole lesson, but my focus mainly will be on this. So
right,
you just, तो अब वो एक चीज के लिए ना वो, एंड देन अगेन आपका रेपो अगर है उसके साथ, फिर उसको कोई मसला नहीं होगा.
correct.
And then again, जब when you conduct the while observation, you note down whatever the strengths and the weak areas for development, and then instead of in the post observation meeting, it is very important that you allow the teacher to talk about her strengths first. When the teacher talks about her strengths, वो सबसे पहले तो कहते हैं सब गलत हो गया, मैंने ये भी ठीक नहीं किया, मैंने ये भी ठीक नहीं किया. तो don't be hard on yourself. You did lots and lots of good things. So can you let us just talk about the all the good things that you did and the things that you were satisfied with. अब उससे ना वो जो आप टीचर के ऊपर स्ट्रेस है वो ऐसे ऐसा कम होना चाहिए. पहले कहेंगे नहीं 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 मैंने तो कुछ भी नहीं किया, एंड देन यू से नो you did plenty. For example, you give an example. I saw that, like, when so and so did it, you just went there and you explained it. So, can you think of more? And then you would start off. I did this. And gradually you would see that the level of confidence that the teacher would start getting.
Okay,
And then you keep asking questions for the things that didn't go well. Why do you think it didn't go well? What happened? Do you think all when she says that everyone was involved? So I'm normally, what I have is that I make the sketch of the class also, and put a cross for the girls and circles for the boys, so that I know that. But do you think this the students on this table, were they listening to you while you were explaining? And then she would say, "Okay, no, they were exchanging this, or they were talking." So why do you think they were talking? So what should you have done? I think I should have stopped and asked them to focus on what I'm saying. So you see, the questions that you ask, that the observer should ask from a teacher, should be should make them reflect. The more questions they ask, you will notice that the teachers would identify their areas for development themselves. I should have
more
done
like
this. I should have done this.
more
And
like
when they, huh,
very good. I think more like discovery questions are than interrogation. So that's
yes,
what. Okay.
but not in a in an authoritative way.
Yeah, I
You
get
know,
it. I get it. More like a
you
two-way
have to,
conversation.
Yeah, it likes conversation. So you make the observer sit next to you, not in front of you, so that you see the whole thing changes. When you're sitting close to each other, then you feel relaxed.
Right.
But when you are sitting in front of the observer, it seems as if you are answerable to her. So it's very important that जो आप उसको close proximity में रखें, smile off and on, talk about positive things, and then ask questions so that she reflects and she or he himself comes up with, I think I should. So can you identify what areas you should mainly focus on? She would say this, and you would say, you know what? Look, I've written the same. I'm really happy that you've written. So सारा कुछ ठीक हो जाता है. एंड देन अगेन एक जो बड़ा मसला है वो ये है कि हमारा फॉलो अप नहीं होता ऑफ द ट्रेनिंग. सो इफ यू
Yeah.
आर इन्वॉल्व द स्कूल हेड इनटू दिस एंड आस्क द टीचर, अच्छा ये जो एरियाज आपने अभी आइडेंटिफाई किए, इफ यू जस्ट राइट इट इन योर टीचर्स डायरी, so that and start focusing on one area at a time, and once you have got the hang of it, move on to the next. So उससे ये होगा कि gradually she would improve. Yes.
And I think I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term. Are you familiar with the term NLP?
NLP.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you
It's neuro logistics programming. It's a field. It's a very vast field.
neural, exactly, neurologistic.
I think it's high time because my cousin is a corporate trainer and he got trained from Castle Abbas. He's a very well known
Mhm.
trainer and he's a NLP practitioner too. And I think why I'm saying every teacher should learn a bit because in NLP they help you. Let's say if I'm a trainer of NLP and I'm training people, what my technique is going to be in a nutshell is that I'm going to teach certain stuff through their subconscious mind. This is a technique which they taught in NLP that they make you unlearn certain bad stuff,
Yeah.
they make you learn something to the deeper level that it is a part of your brain. It's more like doing a coding into your brain and embed that data inside it. So if you research more on this, there are people who are offering certifications on this neuro logistics programming. And I think if teachers learn this, then they are in a good position to make students learn something in a way which they're never going to forget.
You're very right. You're very
Right.
right.
Good. What do you think? What changes do you think schools in Pakistan needs most right now?
First of all, to move from cramming, rote learning, content delivery only, content testing only,
Right.
उससे हट जाए प्लीज. लाइक एक
आपने वो
हमारा
देखी
इतना
सितारे ज़मीन पे आमिर खान की राइट?
जी.
आपने आमिर खान की मूवी देखी है सितारे ज़मीन पे
या इट्स अ
राइट?
ब्यूटिफुल मूवी. ब्यूटिफुल
एग्जैक्टली
मूवी. यू नो
एग्जैक्टली
इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि वो इसमें से निकलें, बिकॉज द थिंग इज कि वही चीज रिप्रोड्यूस करके नहीं देनी, बिकॉज वहां से तो दिमाग ही काम करना बंद हो जाता है. सो you have to meet the individual needs. Every individual is different, every child is different. If you look at your own family, your all you siblings will be different. You look at your khalas, your mamus, your chachas and tayas, they would be brothers or sisters, but they all have their own. Some will be pessimist, some will be optimist, some will be shy, some will be very open. Some one is good at math, the other one is good at English, and so on. One wants to be a scientist, the other one. So we what we are trying to do is वो जो एक वो भी बना हुआ है ना, एक कार्टून भी कि जी अब वो एक ही है करिकुलम फॉर ऑल. वो चाहे हाथी है, चाहे मंकी है, चाहे कोई है. सो यू दे वोंट बी एबल एंड द फिश, सो दे कांट डू दैट. सो differentiation, meeting individual needs is important. That is the reason the teachers need to know strategies. What are the latest strategies that are being used in the West that we should adapt, change, and use in our class? So you make groups and you work एक तरीके से एक ग्रुप ऑफ बच्चों के साथ या एक तरीके से दूसरे तरीके बच्चों के साथ. सो यू एंड यू नीड टू यूज डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. दैट इज द रीजन to meet individual needs you have to maybe show them a video sometimes, and or a colored picture in front of them to see what do they see and उनसे कह के explain करें. Or you can actually bring realia in the class and ask them to touch them, feel them, rough surface क्या है, smooth surface क्या है, and so on. So when you bring all those things, I remember जब मेरी ब्रेडफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी वाली मेरे जो ट्यूटर्स ने आके मेरी ऑब्जर्वेशन की थी, तो मैं उस वक्त एडजेक्टिव्स करवा रही थी. And what I had done was that in a bag, in a छोटे bag, where I had put different things, and I asked them, okay, just take out a thing and close your eyes. Take out a thing and
Observe.
smell it, feel it, and tell what it looks like. So when you actually feel the thing, when you touch things, when you are in, go in the open and सी दोज थिंग्स, तो वो जो चीज़ है ना, वो टोटली फर्क है. हमारा इतना कॉन्सेप्ट है कि आपने क्लास के अंदर, अब ये मैथ्स का लेसन है, सो लाइक शॉर्ट टर्म मेमोरी में आपके देर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ मेमोरीज, शॉर्ट टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म में. अब एक मैथ्स की टीचर आई है, उसने फ्रैक्शंस कराए हैं, कोई लिंक नहीं बनाया कि हमने पहले फ्रैक्शंस कब किए थे, कोई लिंक नहीं बनाया कि एवरीडे लाइफ में फ्रैक्शंस कहाँ यूज हो जाते हैं. केक लाए हैं या पिज्ज़ा लाए हैं, तो नंबर ऑफ फैमिली मेंबर्स के हिसाब से एक जैसे कट करेंगे, तो उतने फ्रैक्शन आपके बन जाएंगे. कोई लिंक एवरीडे से नहीं बनाया. उसके बाद अगली टीचर आ गई, उसने आके इंग्लिश में भी वही डिस्क्राइबिंग वर्ड्स एडजेक्टिव्स करवा दिए. उसने कोई लिंक नहीं बनाया कि कहाँ पर क्या, एवरीडे लाइफ से लिंक नहीं बनाया, क्रॉस करिकुलर लिंक नहीं बनाया. जो सोशल स्टडीज की टीचर आई, उसने आके मैपिंग में भी मैप्स के कीज बनानी बता दी, बट कोई लिंक नहीं बनाया कि जब आप किसी को रास्ता बता रहे होते हो, सो व्हाट डू यू से टू देम, लाइक turn right from the mosque. So how are these,
जल्दी
whatever
तुम्हें
you're
दर्द हो रहा है तो
studying
आवाज
in
निकाल.
every everyday life, वो कैसे आप ये जो आप सारा कुछ पढ़ रहे हो, that is directly applicable to your life. So if the students see meaning in learning, how it is applied in my life, then too they would learn, and it would be go into the long term learning. But when you just don't make a link and एक साइंस पढ़ाई, मैथ्स पढ़ाई और सोशल स्टडीज पढ़ाई और इस्लामियत पढ़ाई, कोई लिंक नहीं बनाया कि आप कब किस वक्त क्या करते हो, ये दुआ क्यों पढ़नी ज़रूरी है, आपके दादा नाना ये सब कुछ क्या करते हैं. When you don't make link with everyday life, when you don't make cross curricular links, when you don't make whatever they have studied in this class already or in the previous class, so the teachers have to be in connection कि पिछली क्लास में वो क्या पढ़ के आ रहे हैं, मैंने क्या पढ़ाना है, ठीक है, और अगली क्लास में जाके क्या पढ़ना है, सो दैट वो बीच में गैप ना आए. सो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर टीचर्स टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्टूडेंट्स नीड्स एंड देन टीच अकॉर्डिंगली.
Right. I think that's
एंड देन
that's
आई सी दैट हमारे तो बहुत ज़्यादा आउट ऑफ स्कूल चिल्ड्रन हैं. गवर्नमेंट नीड्स टू डू समथिंग सो दैट देयर इज एजुकेशन फॉर ऑल. जैसे अब बाहर है कि आपकी कम्युनिटी में जहाँ पर आप रह रहे हो, वहाँ पर कोई एक स्कूल है जहाँ पर all the children should go and study. So, like, we
right.
need to work on that.
Spot on. Let's have some fun questions. Our
Okay.
quiz talk has been done. So, what's one thing people don't know about you outside work?
Okay. Okay. What probably they don't know that if I am given a pack of quality sweets which have a cream and which one the filling hoti hai, I can have the whole packet in one go.
Okay, all right, that's good. Um, what helps you relax after a very long, hectic day?
Okay. Yes, I would say family when I'm with my kids, that is the most relaxing period. But another is that I would play वो जो टैब के ऊपर बैठ के वो कोई वर्ड गेम्स होती हैं,
Yeah, yeah,
या
yeah. I played that.
सो
Okay, okay.
सोडा कैंडी क्रश सोडा खेल लिया. सो लाइक उस तरह की भी गेम्स, बिकॉज व्हाट आई ट्राई टू डू इज कि मैं गेम्स वो वाली खेलूँ जिसके अंदर थोड़ी सी मैथमेटिक्स भी आ जाए, थोड़ी सी लैंग्वेज भी आ जाए. सो दैट एक्चुअली गिव्स मी अ हाई, जब मुझे मैं देखती हूँ ना ऊपर ऊपर जा रही हूँ और मैं वर्ल्ड में किधर आ रही हूँ. सो या, सो ये
And
चीज़.
if you were not in education, what career would you choose?
Acha, I actually, before doing B.Ed, I did B.Ed before I got into schools and all that. So I wanted to be to research in genetics. I was so passionate about that because it really intrigued me, how genetics works and all that. So I did want to go to, in the field of genetics and do research and plenty of experiments.
Okay, tea or coffee?
Matcha plain.
Okay. Classroom or boardroom?
नहीं यार, क्लासरूम। देखिए, क्लासरूम में आपकी लाइफ है, आपने जो कुछ पढ़ाया, जो कुछ किया, जो आपने ट्रेनिंग कंडक्ट की, आपको तो उनमें नजर आएगा ना। आपके बच्चे जब फ्लरिश करते हैं, आई फील रियली प्राउड ऑफ सीइंग माय स्टूडेंट्स व्हेन दे से आई एम सीईओ ऑफ दिस एंड आई एम सीईओ ऑफ दिस, देन आई फील मेरी थोड़ी सी तो कंट्रीब्यूशन होगी ना इसके अंदर।
थोड़ी नहीं, काफी। इनफैक्ट टीचर ही की कंट्रीब्यूशन होती है, बट वी डोंट। द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट हम लोग क्रेडिट अपनी कंपनीज को, अपनी फैमिली को दे देते हैं। बट आई थिंक इट्स हाई टाइम वी शुड गिव क्रेडिट टू द टीचर्स who have
यस।
has helped to
Yes,
reach.
you see, ये noble profession है. They are actually not running machines. They are not teaching machines. They are teaching human beings. So अगर वो एक टीचर आके ना यहाँ से जोर से पकड़ लेती है ना, जल्दी से अपना काम, why don't you finish your work? तो वो जो अंदर गई हुई है ना, बाजू अंदर खुब गए हुए हैं, उस बच्चे के चेहरे के ऊपर आ रहे हैं, the whole class can see his or her expressions, and they can actually understand that teacher doesn't like him. और उस बच्चे को भी पता चल गया कि सबको पता चल गया टीचर डजंट लाइक मी, एंड देन आहिस्ता आहिस्ता वो अपनी शेल में जाना शुरू हो जाएगा। इट्स अ वेरी सेंसिटिव, आई फील दैट, आई फील वेरी लकी, आई एम ग्लैड दैट आई डिडंट गो इनटू जेनेटिक्स, बट the fulfillment that I'm getting today from being in education is so fulfilling. It's so rewarding because when you see changes happening in teachers, changes happening in school heads. जो मैं डिप्लोमा कोर्स पढ़ा रही थी कैम्ब्रिज का, उसमें we had one of the school heads in club, पहले हमारी school evaluation team when they evaluated them, so they were struggling school. So after this course finished and they were re-evaluated, and they came to be thriving schools, and their report was, they said, what did you do? And that was like this fulfillment. Okay, so the course that I taught, the discussions that we had, the exposure that we gave of different leaders, school heads to them, uh, it did work. It made a difference. So the motivation, if the school head is motivated, automatically the school will be a happy school. Automatically the teachers will be happy
Right.
teachers, because she would be then, the school head has to be instructional leader, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग कमांड ऑन एकेडमिक्स। अगर स्कूल हेड सिर्फ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव काम कर रहा है, उसको कुछ पता नहीं है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एकेडमिक्स का, तो वो स्कूल तो थ्राइव ही नहीं कर सकता वहाँ पर ना। देयर विल बी बिग गैप्स बिटवीन द टीचर एंड द स्कूल हेड एंड देन टीचर्स, एंड उतनी थकी हुई, उतनी तंग आई हुई टीचर्स होंगी जो बच्चों को पढ़ा रही होंगी। सो द this vision, this thing, this motivation goes from the school head to the
Question
teachers
serious
in
मेरे
the,
mind में भी आ गया. I think I should ask before I let you go, and that is, so we have seen that there are certain schools which offer some next level of education where they groom the child, be in terms of speaking, public speaking, body language, be it mindset and all that. But those schools are not accessible to the majorities because of the fee structure, and there are certain class which can afford that, which is very limited. And with all the circumstances and all the things happening in Pakistan, Mengai and all that, are you doing something to have this system to masses? If I talk about government schools, we have a collaboration with government schools where you can have that kind of a curriculum in. So मुझे पता है कि मैं अपने बच्चों को भी government school में नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा because of the standard, right? What are you doing about that, so that in future we see people having this kind of education mass level पे?
that is my dream as well, and that is the reason I've made my own educational consultancy company, chughtaieducation.com. But before that, I would say कि be starting off United Charter Schools from scratch was something which was, because it is, when Mrs. Kusuri told her vision to me, I was so impressed. She said, Tabassum, most of the students think that we can't do O levels because we can't afford the fee. Most of the things they can't, they feel that students and parent body, they feel that because we can't afford the fee, our children can't have IT integrated classes. They can't have re-alien class. They can't have group work, pay work like those big schools have. Now, you know, with this United Charter Schools, I'm just like मैं उसकी वो कर रही हूँ, but it's not that. I introduced Stephen Covey's seven, जो Leader in Me. I we got the MOU. I got the MOU signed, and from pre-nursery to class 8. Now, Leader in Me is a very strong program, and again, I'm not getting paid for to advocate that, but I would say कि वो एक culture बना देता है स्कूल के अंदर, और वो स्कूल के अंदर जो कल्चर बनाता है उसके अंदर द पियंस, द आयास, द ऑफिस बॉय, द टीचर्स, द स्कूल हेड एंड द स्टूडेंट्स, दे ऑल learn the same thing. They are training के अंदर, they all are involved. They are taught, and then और स्किल्स क्या है जो 7 हैबिट्स, जैसे छोटी सी बात है, थिंक विन विन. अब आप अगर अर्ली से बच्चों को ये सिखा दें कि मेरा भी नुकसान ना हो और तुम्हारा भी ना हो, मैं अपना सोच रहा हूँ तो तुम्हारा भी सोचो, बहुत छोटी छोटी सी है, थिंक विद द एंड इन माइंड. सो आप प्री प्लान, डू बैकवर्ड प्लानिंग, एंड मैं क्या चाहता हूँ, वेयर डू आई वांट माई सेल्फ टू बी इन 5 years, या मैं इस साल के एंड तक, या मैं इस टर्म के एंड तक, व्हाट डू आई वांट, एंड देन यू वर्क टुवर्ड्स दैट. You know, these are life skills. What we need to teach our students is are the life skills. The government needs to teach students life skills, and then again invest on early education. और क्योंकि हमारी, if you see, there is a lot of frustration in us as a country, as nationals. आप देखेंगे कि when you are stuck in traffic, you know that you can't move, but the पिछली car at your back would keep the hand on the horn, और आप कहोगे मैं कहाँ जाऊँ. इतनी फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, बिकॉज वो जो आपके इनिशियल 8 years हैं, उसके अंदर कंपेयर करके अपने बच्चे को दूसरे बच्चे के साथ, बहन कर सकती है तुम नहीं कर सकते, भाई कर सकते हैं तुम नहीं कर सकते, क्लास फेलो कर सकता है तुम नहीं कर सकते, कजन कर सकता है तुम नहीं कर सकते, इस पे तुमने ये किया. मार्क्स के गेम में हम पड़े हुए हैं. हाफ अ मार्क के लिए पेरेंट्स बच्चों को इतने स्ट्रेस में डाल रहे हैं कि बच्चे, इंस्टेड ऑफ these 8 in early years, they we are born curious. Children want to know. What we do is कि हम उनकी सब चीज़ें ख़त्म कर देते हैं. We don't allow them to ask questions. We snub them. बड़े की बात सुननी है, हम उसको एक दूसरा रुख दे देते हैं कि जी हम अपने बच्चे को सिखा रहे हैं कि बड़ों का अदब. यस, बड़ों का अदब करो. लाइक व्हेन आई वाज अ टीचर, आई सेड कि I know you respect me, but I want you to criticize my teaching. So I gave them a writing task that was my first year when I started teaching English to class 3. तो मैंने उनको ये कहा, तो they said कि मैंने कहा you have to be polite, but do write what critical मेरा analysis करो of things that I'm not doing right. Because you see, हमें we as a nation, हमें इतना एंगर और फ्रस्ट्रेशन है. हम अगर इन्वेस्ट करना शुरू कर दें ना अपने बच्चों के ऊपर शुरू से, हम अगर एक पॉजिटिव एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर काम करना शुरू करें, हम वी बिकम सो मीन कि वी वुड नॉट इवन थिंक दैट हम किसी के ऊपर कैसे स्टेप करके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, उसके साथ क्या होगा, हम तो उसका सोच ही नहीं रहे, हम सिर्फ अपना सोचते हैं. सो वी नीड टू कम आउट ऑफ दैट. We need to, so at the government level, I that is what I'm aiming at with my consultancy company. I am aiming at improving education and doing all that is in my hand, because my father used to say कि if you don't die like just that, give back to society
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they gave to you. So कुछ तो दे के जाओ. So I that is my ambition. And then even when I got this chance of starting off when the whole infrastructure of academic infrastructure and training infrastructure of UCS, that is what I told my team. I told them my vision, that this is what I want. आई वांट कि हम जो भी एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं ना, वो ट्रू सेंस में हो. हम छोटी सी एग्जांपल दूंगी. अक्सर जब कॉम्पिटिशन्स होते हैं तो हर क्लास में से कोई वो एक दो बच्चे होते हैं who are given an opportunity to present or perform. When during my 5 years there, I all the competitions started from intra class. so that every child gets a chance. So it was a science model making competition. So the we because we were providing lesson plans to the teachers, so we would not provide lesson plans for 1 week, so that the teacher spends time with the students working in groups so that they make their model, and then the school and the teachers decide whose model would be presented for the regional second stage or regional level, at the regional level, and then from the for the national level. So every student should be given a chance to do things, because this is very unfair, because हमारे बच्चों में ठीक है, हो सकता है academically strong नहीं है, but उसके अंदर और skills है. So
Right.
अब तो बल्कि the students need to be entrepreneurs, because by the time they are going to graduate, there won't be plenty of professions would be wiped off.
Correct.
And unless and until they are entrepreneurs, unless and until they are trained to think, unless and until they are trained to be curious and creative and come up with new ideas, we these children won't be able to survive. So बहुत ज़रूरी है for our government to first of all invest in the teachers, उनकी बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग करें, उनको बहुत ज़्यादा उनकी प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट हो, एंड देन हमारा मसला ये है कि ट्रेनिंग के बाद देयर इज़ नो फॉलो अप. So a one-off workshop or a one-off attending a seminar or a conference or a one-off course is useless unless and until there's a उसका
Follow up.
follow-up हो.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Follow-up is very important. So कुछ इस तरह का हमें सिस्टम बनाना पड़ेगा. So I keeping fingers crossed, when this is what I plan to do, and I hope that I'm able to do that and contribute to my to education in my country, inshallah, and abroad as well, wherever.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you so much, Tabassum, for taking out some time and being a part of my podcast. I wish I can talk more, but it's already 1 hour, and we didn't realize that एक घंटा भी हो गया. I thoroughly loved the conversation we had. Inshallah, I'll invite you again to talk about more topic. I think this is the high time we should talk about education and its impact in Pakistan. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and inshallah,
Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
Thank you so much for
Amazing.
having